Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purana Namalayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad-padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badharayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishwaro Gurur Atmeti Mukti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Muktaye Namaha Om Shri Medha Dakshinamurti Swamine Namaha. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Arayana Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamrita Varshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvam Anusandhadami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshinim Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sankabadakramopanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Dadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantanna Vidhusura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. So Namaste once again all of you. So in the last class, we were seeing the 21st sloka. Arjuna telling Krishna to place his chariot in between the two armies. Senayor Ubhayor Madhye Ratam Sthapaya Mechuta. And he wants to inspect who are all there with whom he has to fight this war. And most importantly, he wanted to see those people who have assembled to please whom Durbuddhehe Dhartarashtrasya, the evil-minded Dhritarashtra's putras, to please them who are all assembled there to fight Arjuna and the Pandavas' army. So he wants to do the inspection of the two armies, more importantly of the Duryodhana's army. And toward the end, we discussed about this value of ahimsa. And I was telling you that ahimsa is not an absolute value. In fact, no values in Sanatana Dharma is an absolute value. But that does not mean that you can flout those values at your will and, at your pleasure. They are all the utsarga. They are general values to be followed. But there are certain apavadas, some circumstances, you can go against those values. And again, these are all Dharma Shastra related. So in Dharma Shastra also, there are general dharmas, then there are specific dharmas. There are Samanya dharmas and Vishesha dharmas. So Samanya dharmas are general for everybody. Whereas Vishesha dharma, they differ from, varna to varna. Even the roles that we play, the Vishesha dharmas will change. The Vishesha dharma of a father is different than the Vishesha dharma of a son. So all these, things we have to bear it in mind. So ahimsa also, as I said, is not an absolute, and it is the duty of a Kshatriya to use himsa in order to protect dharma. So that the word Kshatriya itself I explained, Kshatat adharmat trayate iti Kshatriya. He is the one who has to protect the society from adharmic people. And all these things Arjuna knew very well. He has been taught by Bhishmacharya. He has attended the Gurukulam and learned all these Dharma Shastras. So it is nothing new. So he came fully prepared to the battlefield that I am now going to destroy all these adharmic people. And he also knew that both Bhishma and Drona were on the opposite side, on the side of adharma. No doubt, they were very great persons, very highly respected by Arjuna. They have actually brought up Arjuna. In fact, they were gurus for Arjuna. Arjuna has played on the lap of Bhishmacharya, was like his grandfather, right? So even knowing all these things, till now, Arjuna did not have any sentimental problem about fighting these people. He did not have any emotional problem. His intellect, buddhi, was ruling his decision to fight this dharma, war of dharma, dharmic war. And here the message is that whoever has got a sound intellect, thinking capacity, objectivity, looking at everything objectively in life, for all those people whose emotional mind is under the control of the intellect, that person will always have the right judgment. Wherever we go wrong with judgments is because we bring in the emotional mind. The to be or not to be business, the pendulum business, which is mind. Mind cannot decide. That is the nature of the mind. It is only the intellect which can take the decisions. But what happens many times, we allow our mind to rule over us. We allow the mind to take the decisions. And in the modern parlance, mind is equal to heart is the equation we actually put together. And then there are people say, listen to your heart, do what your heart tells you and all that. What actually heart we should understand is listen to your buddhi, listen to your intellect. But instead, it is interpreted that listen to what your emotions tell you to do. If you follow whatever your emotions are asking you to do, some cases may be a success, but in most cases, it will lead eventually to great trouble only. That is why in our Shastras, again and again, all these things are repeated. The messages of the whole Bhagavad Gita message is what? This, the first chapter itself is highlighting this fact that the moment you lose yourself to the emotional blackmailing, your own emotional blackmailing, you are finished. That is what? Raga, attachment, leading to shoka, and then moha, delusion. This is the central message of the first chapter, as we are seeing. Okay. So only when our emotions or sentiments begin, they start overpowering our buddhi, all kinds of confusions will come. And until now, as I said, Arjuna did not have any emotional problem. He did not have any sentimental problem. His intellect was very clear. And that the other side is a adharma side. That's why he uses durbuddhe, right? Dushta buddhi. All those people on the opposite side are all, this Duryodhana and co are dushta buddhi people. And I, Arjuna and Pandavas, we are on the dharma side. It is a fight between dharma and adharma. And in a society, for the sustainability of a society, dharma is more important than temporary relationships. After all human beings are subject to birth and death, whereas dharma is shashwata, it is eternal, sanatana. And if we have to choose between dharma and this temporary relationship with human beings, we must always choose dharma. That is the message. And that is why we have got many stories, of kings upholding dharma. And upholding dharma even under extremely trying circumstances. I don't know whether I told you this. There is a story of in Tamil literature, there is a story of a Manu, a king. His name was Ellalan. I think he was somewhere in Sri Lanka, present Sri Lanka. So Chola king he was. Okay. And he is traditionally presented as being a king who is very just. And he ruled with even justice towards everybody, whether friend or foe. And how he even ordered the execution of his own son for killing a calf under the chariot wheels. His son, he was driving the chariot wheel and a calf ran and he overran that and killed that calf. And it is said that during his reign, the rule of dharma was so powerful that the calf's mother, the cow, went to the palace and the king had installed a bell outside the palace that if anybody has got any grievance, they just have to ring that bell. Then they will be attended to and justice will be done. So the cow goes and rings that bell. Now, people come and tell the king that there is a cow which is ringing the bell. That means the cow has been, some adharma has been caused to the cow because of some reason. Now the cow cannot tell what adharma has been caused. So the king orders an inquiry and finds out that the calf of the cow, the child of the cow, has been killed by a chariot overrunning. And then he orders, and who was that running, doing the chariot? Because for him, the dharma, the rule is death for death. Whoever it is. If you have killed somebody, then you have to lose your life. That was the dharma he had established. People come and tell him that, Raja, this was your son who did this. So he says, so what? Let it be my son. For me, dharma is most supreme. So he orders the execution of his son and his son gets executed. The stories are there, in literature, in our literature, lot of them, many such stories are there. The message is that when we have to decide between dharma and any relationship, we have to take a decision to go to the side of dharma rather than sticking to the relationships. Because, as I said, relationships are temporary, lasting for this life alone, whereas dharma is shashwatam. It was there, the same dharmas, the same order. What is dharma? Order of Ishvara. The universal order, the cosmic order is dharma. So it was there before us, before this birth. It is going to be there after our death also. That is shashwatam. So we must always go along with dharma. That is the message. And Arjuna till now did not have any problem with that. And that's why he says, Dharta Rashtrasya Durbuddhehe, showing that intellectually he is now fully ready for the war. And Vedanta itself will later on going to teach that emotions are wonderful. They are very nice. They are necessary for the human growth. Many people actually think that Vedantins are people without any emotions. In fact, I have such experiences. I was studying with somebody, he was complaining to me that his family people find him very detached, and that they blame Vedanta for that. They say that, this Vedanta has spoiled all your mind. You are very detached. You don't have any attachment towards us and all that. And he said they don't realize that their whole problem in their life is this attachment only. And they find it that I am detached. But the point we have to understand is Vedantins are not people without emotions. But they are people without the emotions which are binding emotions. Love, they have got love and compassion, which are very nice, beautiful emotions. They are emotions of Ishvara. Why should I love only a few people who are related to me either by blood or by marriage or whatever it is? I have love for this entire universe. I have love for all beings in this. That love itself is a very great emotion. And Vedantins, all Jnanis have that love and that compassion towards everything. But what happens? People interpret these emotions very narrowly, and they think that emotion, if you are emotional, means you should be attached only to few people. You must not get attached to your neighbor's wife. You must only get attached to me. But that attachment to neighbor's wife is nothing wrong as long as it is a compassionate feeling towards everybody which you have towards neighbor, neighbor's wife, everybody. So this problem Vedantins will face, who are into Vedanta or practicing Vedanta, they face this problem, especially with their close family members. Okay. So Vedantin is not a person without any sentiments. Okay, he is not a stone. In fact, later on, Krishna himself is going to say that Jnani is an embodiment of compassion. Maitra Karuna Evacha, he says. What is the indication of a Jnani? He is a friend to everybody, everything. And Karuna, he has got all compassion for everybody. Only thing is, he does not get attached to the people for whom he has compassion. With compassion, he will do everything that it is possible for him to do to help any person who requires that help. So therefore, what we have to understand is sentiments are nice, they are wonderful, they are all gift from God for all of us. It's only in the human birth that we can actually express these sentiments. Of course, some animals also have these sentiments, attachment and all that. We see so many videos, some animals, they remember people after so many years. There is sentimental, connection is there. But we have to be very careful. Once the sentiments start clouding our intellect, then it becomes sentimentalism. It no longer remains a sentiment. It becomes sentimentalism. And once the intellect is clouded, the biggest problem is our judgment will also be clouded and it is likely to go wrong. We will see dharma as adharma and adharma as dharma. Sentiments make a human being. Sentimentalism will lead to delusion, moha. So as I said, till now Arjuna did not have any problem of sentimentalism. And therefore he happily came to the battlefield without any regrets or any compunction. Even though the war involved himsa, even though it involved the killing of his kith and kin, Arjuna never felt bad, because protection of dharma required their destruction. And as I said, ahimsa should be, the himsa should be taken as a last resort. And in this particular case, the war is being fought as a last resort only. Everybody had tried to reason, Samadhana, Beda, everything has gone through. Even Krishna has gone to Duryodhana and pleaded with him to avoid the war. All efforts were done to avoid this war. Still, it did, all those efforts failed. So what is left is only danda, punishment, himsa. That is only left. So that is how the present theater of war is. That's the background for this. So when Krishna goes and places the chariot in between the two armies, and especially he places the chariot at a place where Arjuna can see Bhishma and Drona clearly, what happens then, we will see now. That is the dramatic turn of events I said. Okay. We will read the next sloka. And this particular portion, Sanjaya is now narrating to Dhritarashtra. Okay. Sanjaya uvacha eva mukto rishikesho budhakeshena bharata senayorubayor madhye stapayitva ratottamam bhishmadrona pramukatah sarvesham cha mahikshitam uvacha partha pasyaitan samavetan kuruniti. These two slokas, we will take it together. So, Sanjaya uvacha, Anvaya I will tell you. He Bharata, addressing Dhritarashtra, He Bharata. Evam Gudakeshena Uktaha, Rishikeshaha Ubayoho Senayoho Madhye, Bhishma Drona Pramukataha, Sarvesham cha Mahikshitam, Rata Uttamam Sthapayitva, Uvacha, He Partha, Etan Samavetan Kurun Pashya iti. Actually, the last one is within inverted commas. He Partha, Etan Samavetan Kurun Pashya. It is actually Krishna telling Arjuna, see these people who are assembled here. So Krishna is telling, it should have been Bhagavan Uvacha, but Bhagavan Uvacha has not started now. And this is, Sanjaya is quoting Krishna's words. Krishna said, what he says? Rishikesha Uvacha. Rishikesha, that is Krishna, told Arjuna. Okay. So Sanjaya Uvacha, Sanjaya said, He Bharata, O Dhritarashtra, evam, in this manner, Gudakeshena, by Arjuna, Uktaha, told. So Gudakeshena Uktaha means, in this manner, told by Arjuna. What did he say? Ratam Sthapaya Mechuta, he said, previous sloka. So told or commanded Krishna to place the chariot. Rishikesha, Krishna, Ubayoho Senayoho Madhye, in between the two armies, Bhishma Drona Pramukataha, in front of Bhishma and Drona, Sarvesham cha Mahikshitam, and all other kings also, Ratam Uttamam, the great chariot, Sthapayitva, having placed iti uvacha, said this. What did he say? He Partha, O Arjuna, etan samavetan, these people who are assembled, Kurun, Kauravas, Pashya, may you see. May you see all these Kauravas who are assembled here. This is what Krishna told Arjuna. So, once Arjuna gave the command, there was no conversation between Arjuna and Krishna. Krishna just drove the chariot, placed it in between the two armies. So that is why Sanjaya steps in and now gives the update to Dhritarashtra. What happened after Arjuna said this? Neither Arjuna spoke nor Krishna spoke. So obviously Sanjaya is now narrating what happened at that time when Krishna was told. And he addresses Dhritarashtra as He Bharata. Very interesting. He is subtly trying to remind Dhritarashtra. See your glorious lineage. You are from the Bharata Vamsha. You are a Bharata Dhritarashtra and you have led yourself to this situation. As I told you, Sanjay was a minister of Dhritarashtra and he was never for this war. He was very close to Dhritarashtra. But Dhritarashtra never listened to his sane advices which he was giving. Okay. And he is hinting that you have brought yourself and your family to this situation. So, evam gudakeshana uktaha, having been commanded thus by Arjuna to place the chariot between the two armies, Krishna places the chariot in such a way that Arjuna can see Bhishma and Drona very clearly. And because they were the principal opponents also, Bhishmacharya was the commander-in-chief of the Duryodhana's army. And Dronacharya, of course, has joined the army. Arjuna's, from whom he has learned. And Dronacharya he was himself a very skilled archer, rather. So they were the principal opponents with whom Arjuna has to fight. In fact, Arjuna's fight was not that much with Duryodhana and all, but with Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya, because they were much superior in their archery skills and fighting skills than Arjuna, being gurus of Arjuna. And they were respected by the Pandavas also. Okay. So Bhishma and Drona were very prominent characters in this entire war setting. And Arjuna is given a very beautiful name here, Gudakeshaha. Gudaka means tamoguna. And tamoguna is characterized by what? Laziness, dullness, sleep, procrastination, always postponing things. These are all typical tamoguna nature. People who have these are all tamoguna predominant people. And Ishaha means Lord, Master. So Gudakeshaha means the one who has overcome, who has overpowered his tamoguna. Now, everybody has got tamoguna. All three gunas, Sattva guna, Rajo guna, Tamo guna are present in everybody. Without that, there cannot be a human being or any living being. The question is, which of these three gunas is predominant in a person? For a saintly person, Sattva guna is predominant. For a Kshatriya, Rajoguna should be predominant because he has to fight. He has to protect people. That requires a lot of action on his part, running around, doing so many things, running a kingdom. A person with a Sattva guna will not be able to do all that. He will be sitting in some place, contemplating, meditating and all that. So Rajoguna is necessary for a certain category of people. Everybody requires Tamoguna. Without Tamoguna, nobody will get sleep. And sleep is a very important for people with predominant Sattva and also predominant Rajoguna. So a part of the personality should have Tamoguna so that you are able to take rest, you are able to take sleep for some time. But what we must be careful is not allow that Tamoguna to overcome or overpower our Rajoguna, and for spiritually inclined people, their Sattva guna. So we must keep the Tamoguna under control. So by calling Arjuna Gudakesha, here Vyasacharya says that all of you also should be Gudakesha only. Keep your Tamo Guna under control. Now let us ask ourselves, how many of us are able to do that? I'm not going to get into that. Okay. Because if a person is under the grip of Tamo Guna, he will neither be fighting, fit for fighting a war or even for learning Bhagavad Gita. So here Vyasacharya is indicating by this Gudakesha that Arjuna is not a person with predominant Tamoguna. He is not a dull-witted person. He is competent enough to keep awake in a class when the teaching is going on. These are Paramatanandaji's words, not my words. Of course, he is referring to Arjuna, not to us. And Swamiji narrates another very interesting anecdote. When Kumbhakarna was killed, from Ramayana, Kumbhakarna was killed in the Ramayana war. Nidra Devi, the goddess of sleep, had one regret. Because she was all the time in Kumbhakarna when he was sleeping for 6 months. So she had a very good abode in Kumbhakarna. Sort of, for 6 months she had no problem at all. She used to live in Kumbhakarna's body. But when he was killed, she had nowhere to go. So she came to Rama and said, you have killed Kumbhakarna, or in fact, whoever your army has killed Kumbhakarna. Now where do I go? I have no ashraya for myself. There was this Kumbhakarna, he is gone now. So what should I do? So reportedly, Rama said, hey Nidra Devi, wherever spiritual discourses are going on, you go there. You will find enough Kumbhakarnas there. And you go and occupy them. So that is why people who come to spiritual discourses, Swamiji says, he must have observed that in his own classes which he holds, many people, doze off. Even in my own classes when I used to take, I used to observe that the subject of spirituality is like that only. Invites Nidra Devi for people who have got a predominant Tamoguna, who are not Gudakesha. Okay. Anyhow, so Arjuna was Gudakesha. And Arjuna's chariot is described here as Ratha Uttamam. Uttamam means great, right? Superior. And it was a chariot gifted to Arjuna by the Devas. It was a special chariot. So Krishna strategically placed the chariot in front of Bhishma and Drona and also other warriors who are there. Mahikshitam. Mahikshitam means, actually Mahi means the earth. Those who protect the earth is called Mahikshitam. Prithvi or kingdom. In this case, we can say those who protect the kingdom means those who are kings. So other kings who are supporting Duryodhana. So in front of them, he put the chariot. And what did Arjuna see there? The next sloka. Next two slokas. Tatra pashya stitan partha pitrinata pitamahan acharyan matulan bhratran putran pautran sakim sthatha shashuran suhrudaschaiva senayorubhayorapi tan samikshya sakaunteya sarvan bandhuna vastitan. Then next sloka, first line. Kripaya paraya vishtah vishidhan nidam abravit. So, Atha, the Anvaya I am giving you. Atha Partha Ubayoho Senayoho Api Tatra Stitan Pitrin Pitamahan Acharyan Matulan Bhratrun Putran Pautran Tata Saki Swashuran Suhridaha Cha Eva Apashyat Tan Sarvan Bandhun Avastitan Samikshya Saha Kaunteyah Paraya Kripaya Avishtaha Vishidan Idam Abravi. This is the Anvaya. You'll see the word meaning, then I will explain the sloka. Atha. Atha means thereafter. Thereafter means what? After placing the Ratha. And when Krishna told, now you see the people who are in front of you and also in your own army. Arjuna. Partha is Arjuna here. Senayo, Ubayoho, Senayoho api. Also in both the armies. Tatra Stithan, assembled there. Who were there? Pitrin, fathers. Pitamahan, grandfathers. Acharyan, teachers. Matulan, maternal uncles. Bhratrun, brothers. Putran, sons. Pautran, grandsons. Tatha, and Sakhin, friends. Shashuran, fathers-in-law. Suhridahacha, and well-wishers. Eva, alone. The Eva is very important here in this sloka. Apashyat, he saw. Tan Sarvan Bandhun, all these relatives, Avastitan, assembled, Samikshya, having seen, Kaunteyaha, Arjuna, Paraya Kripaya, by deep attachment, Avishtaha, was overpowered, Vishidan, grieving, Idam Abravid, he said these words. This is the turning point of the entire Bhagavad Gita. The entire, what they call, the reason why Vyasacharya gave this Bhagavad Gita to us. He gave the Gita Upadesha through this Bhagavad Gita to us is there in this two slokas, and what slokas are going to come. He is just highlighting the human problem, the universal human problem. So let us see these two slokas. So thereafter, what did Arjuna see there? He saw fathers, grandfathers, teachers, uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, fathers-in-law, well-wishers, all of them assembled there in the two armies. And having seen all these relatives and friends assembled there, Arjuna was overpowered by deep attachment. And grieving, he said the following words. What following words he said? We will see in the next sloka. So when Arjuna commanded Krishna to place the chariot in between the two armies, what he wanted to see? He wanted to see those who were assembled with whom he should fight, and also those who wanted to fulfill the desire of the evil-minded Duryodhana. In short, he wanted to see all the warriors who have assembled there to fight this war. This is what he wanted to see. But when he examines both the armies, what does he see? He does not see any warrior there. He does not see any Maharati there. Instead, he goes intellectually blind and his emotional eyes suddenly open up and he sees most of them are my relatives, my close relatives, my fathers, my grandfather, uncle, teacher, friends, all these people is what he sees. Totally blind intellectually Arjuna becomes when he sees that. Pitran, Pitamahan, Pautran, Putran, Pautran, Matulan, uncles, Bhratran, brothers, Sakin, friends, Suhrida, well-wishers, all these people only he sees. He does not see any warrior there at all. And it is interesting to note the word Pitrun here. Now somebody may have this doubt. How can Arjuna see fathers? After all, he would have had only one father, isn't it? How can he see fathers? Why plural is used? Pita means father, Pitrun means fathers. So this needs a little explanation. According to the Dharma Shastra, every individual has got 5 fathers. And there is a sloka which describes these 5 fathers. Janita cha upaneta cha yascha vidyam prayachati annadata bhayatrata panchaite pitara smritaha. This comes in Chanakya Niti Darpan. So there are 5 people who are as good as fathers for every individual. The first one is Janita, the biological father, who has given birth to this person, who is popularly known as Pita or father, Appa, whom we call, right? Then the next one is Upaneta, one who gives the sacred thread to the boy, the brahmachari. Whoever does the initiation ceremony, that person is also considered as a father. Generally, the father himself does the Upanayana, but if the father does not do and somebody else does, because in some families that happens, because there may be 2 brothers or 3 brothers, and they will do the Upanayanam together. So father can do only Upanayanam for the eldest son. The other 2 children, 2 sons, somebody else in the family, like an uncle or father's brother, somebody will be doing. So if they are doing the initiation ceremony, those persons also have to be considered as father only. Give them the same respect, same reverence which we normally give to our fathers, if at all we give. Okay. So that is the second father who does the Upanayana. Okay. The next one is Yascha Vidyam Prayachati, the one who imparts knowledge. The Guru, he is also considered a father. And that is why the Upanayanams, after the, even when the Upanayanam ceremony is being done, when the Gayatri Japa Upadesha is done, they cover the father, mother, and the boy with a cloth. You might have observed that. Normally it's a silk cloth which they cover it. And the Gayatri Japa is, the priest will tell to the father, father will tell it the right ear of the boy. Gayatri Japa. And that cloth covering is indicative of Garbhavasa. It's all symbolic. Representation of second Garbhavasas. So after the Upanayanam, he becomes a Dvija. When he comes out, when the cloth is removed, he is again born. Dvijanma, Dvija. That is why he is called a Dvija. The first one was from the mother's womb, mother's Garbha. The second birth is from this silk cloth Garbha. He is born. Okay, this is for those who do not know why that is being covered. This is the explanation. Again, thanks to Paramathananda ji, I got this information, which I am sharing it with you. Okay. So this is the symbolism of that. So when the person becomes a student to the Gurukula, that is this second birth. Okay. And why this Gurukula Vasa is considered to be the second birth? Because when a person is born through his biological mother, he is almost like an animal only. Does not have any free will, driven by only natural instincts rather. What are the natural instincts? You know, when hungry, crying. Animals, at least, young animals, the mother will feed. Here also the mother feeds. Sleeping all the time. There is no culture, no restriction for that child. There is no control at all. Whenever it wants to sleep, it will sleep. Whenever it wants to cry, it will cry. Whenever it wants to do everything, it will do everything. The child is like an untamed, wild, uncontrolled, uncultured, indiscriminate living being. And that in our Shastra is called Prakrita Purusha. So, when we are born, Prakrita Purusha means natural instincts are predominant. When we are born, we are all born as Prakrita Purusha with animalistic instincts. Physically, we are a human being, but mentally, we are not yet cultured. Only when a person enters a Gurukula and learns the Vedas and learns what is Dharma, what is Adharma, learns to lead a life based on Dharma and Adharma rather than Raga Dvesha. Only when he understands that he cannot lead a life according to his instincts, but he has to lead a life according to the Shastric injunctions. And when the child comes out of the Gurukula after completing his studies, he is a new human being. He is no longer a Prakrita Purusha, he is a Sanskrita Purusha. He is no longer an animalistic, brutish person. He is a cultured individual, cultured human being. Well read. And that is why, as I said, he is called a Dvija, twice born. First birth out of mother's womb, second birth out of Gurukula Vasa. And Gayatri, for Gurukula Vasa, Gayatri is supposed to be the mother. Gayatri is supposed to guide him. That is why once you have done the Upanayanam, Gayatri mantra meditation, chanting Gayatri mantra is the most important karma one has to do. It says that if you have not chanted Gayatri for 3 days continuously, you are no longer eligible or fit for doing any of the karmas, which fitness you got because of the Upanayana. That is the injunction of the Shastra. So even by chance, one day you miss, chanting Gayatri, second day you must make it up. Gayatri is such a powerful mantra, it is as powerful as a mother is to a small newly born child. And that is why in our Shastra we say Trikala Sandhya Vandanam is a must. Because Trikala Sandhya Vandanam, Gayatri is to be chanted. As many Gayatris you chant. In fact, people who chant Gayatri, you look at them, you can actually see on their face the radiance in their face. The tejas which is there, the Gayatri gives the tejas. So Gayatri chanting is a necessity for that. The necessity is Upanayanam. Upadesha is very much necessary for Gayatri. In any Tom, Dick and Harry should not chant Gayatri. It has to be done, learned properly. The mind has to be brought to the concentration has to be brought in, and then chanting of Gayatri It's actually a meditation. Gayatri chanting is nothing but repeating of Gayatri mantra continuously for a period of time. It may be a short period, but then during this Yajur, Upakarma and all that, we chant Gayatri on 1008 times. We have to chant Gayatri. And if you chant the Gayatri properly, which is Pancha Avasana with 5 breaks, Gayatri mantra should not be chanted this is not the way to chant Gayatri. Gayatri should be chanted with Pancha Avasana. Om is 1 Avasana. Bhur Bhuvassuvaha 2. Tatsavitur Varenyam 3. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi 4. Diyo Yona Prachodayat. The 5 stops should be there. And if you chant Gayatri like this for 1008 times, it will take you 3 hours, more than 3 hours in fact. And you must have that stamina to sit down and chant for 3.5 hours. That is how you bring your mind concentration. And that is one more way to overcome this tamoguna business. All these sadhanas are all there to, from a tamoguna predominance when you are born, to take you through rajoguna to sattva-guna predominance and follow a spiritual path. All the sadhanas or entire karma kanda of Vedas are meant for that only. That is why when you come to the Jnana Kanda, the Upanishads, Vedanta, Antabhaga of the Vedas, you should have sufficiently have sattva guna, so that that spiritual path you can undertake without much difficulty, without much regrets. Anyhow, I have gone away from the subject. Okay. So I was telling you about the third father, Gurukula, the Guru. So Acharya and Gayatri together give birth to this cultured, twice born, this Dvija. So Acharya is the third father. Okay. So first father is the biological father. Second father is the one who initiates you into the Upanayanam, and the third father is the Acharya, the Guru. The fourth father, he says, is Annadata. When I am hungry and I do not have anybody to feed me, and without food I would have died, at that time, if a person protects me by feeding me, giving me food, the one who keeps me going, that person also Shastra says should be considered as a father. Therefore, Annadata is the fourth father. And the fifth and final father is what? Bhayatrata. The one who rescues me from adversities or a crisis. The one who gives me a second life, protecting me from danger. If at all, that such danger comes, life-taking or some very serious danger comes, he protects me. That person is also to be considered as a father. So 5 fathers the Shastra says. So keeping the Shastric view in mind, Vyasacharya uses the expression Pitru. And these people are all respectable people like teachers and all, who are all as good as parents or fathers. And similarly, Pitamahan. So if there are 5 fathers, there should be equal number of grandfathers also, isn't it? So Pitamahan, plural. Acharyan, teacher. Teachers can be in plural, there is no problem. No Shastric explanation is required. Okay. So there will be a teacher for one subject, there will be a teacher for archery, there will be a teacher for sword fight. All that will be there, So different teachers. So here Dronacharya is there, standing in front. Then Matulan, uncles, Bhratrun, brothers. Because Kauravas are what? They are cousins only, they are brothers only. Except that Dhritarashtra doesn't consider Pandus to be his son, as we saw in the very first sloka, right? Mamaka Pandavas Chaiva, right? Mamaka Pandavas Chaiva. Then Putran. Putran means his own children. Because children of his cousin brothers are also like his own children only rather. Karna's children, Duryodhana's children, all those people are all as good as the children of the Pandavas. Pautran, grandsons, Sakin, friends, all these people he sees. And in the next sloka, he says, fathers-in-law he sees. Of course, Arjuna himself had many fathers-in-law because he married more than once. Or you can also take people who are as good as fathers-in-law. All these people are Senayoho, Ubayoho, Api, standing both the sides of the army. Ubayoho means both the sides. Tan Samiksha Kaunteyaha Sarvan Bandhun Avastita. Bandhu here means the person towards whom I have got a great attachment or bondage. Bandhanam is there, bondage is a bandhu. It is derived from the root bad bandhane, to bind, to restrain, to control. And it refers to the emotional attachments, not physical attachment. Because attachment, the word bandhu itself, attachment here is compared to a rope. Because it binds me with other people, and the more I am bound, the more I lose my freedom, because then my happiness is not determined by me, my happiness will be determined by so many other people with whom I have this problem of attachment. And that is why they are called bandhu or bandhavaha in plural. Okay. So Arjuna saw all these bandhus, their kith and kin, very closely. Samiksha. Samiksha means samyak iksha, very well seeing, intensely seeing. And when he saw their faces very closely, a total transformation took place in his personality. Arjuna was paraya kripaya avishtaha. He was overpowered with a false sense of compassion, which is nothing but attachment. The word kripa, even though it normally means compassion, in this context, we have to interpret the word kripa as attachment, because compassion does not lead to shoka. In fact, compassion leads to a sense of fulfillment. So it is attachment, the raga only leads to shoka. So here, even though the word is used, kripaya, we have to interpret this as attachment and not compassion. Compassion is the virtue of a jnani. It does not bind a person, whereas the weakness is attachment, or attachment is the weakness of a ajnani, which binds that person and which causes all problems in life. Therefore, compassion is a virtue, attachment is a weakness. This much we must understand from these slokas. So we will stop here and continue in the next class. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all very much.
Namaste Guruji.
Namaste Guruji. Thank you so much.
Namaste Guruji. Hari Om. Namaste Guruji.
Namaskaram Guruji.
Namaskaram.
Happy Deepavali.
Namaskaram Guruji. Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Namaskaram. Thank you. Thank you, Raghuji.
Yes,
Pranams.
please. Thank you.
It is very detailed explanation. It was very, very, to me, when I hear it for the second, third, fourth time, everything sinks in, so I'm blessed.
Thank you. Again, I said it's all borrowed. I'm only
I
the
know,
actor
I
on
know.
the stage. Script is written by my gurus.
Yes. Yes, because you are continuously there, you're teaching, and so it is there. For me, I do teach the younger children the second chapter, but still I'm not most of the time with the subject. So it's whenever I attend more class, it's more like a refresher, just putting it in. Either you do it on your own or get it from, as you said, teachers thing, So that's what I meant to say, because it brings back all my lessons that personally I attend Paramatmana Dayanandaji. So that's what I'm saying. It brings back, and you are his student. So it's going to be the same when I hear from you. It's not going to be different, So that makes it much more, profound.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Any more questions, comments?
Happy Diwali to you.
Happy Diwali. Yeah. Next class will be after the Diwali. So happy Diwali to all.
Next Saturday, Sunday.
Tomorrow we have Guruji.
No, I'm talking
Also
about
we have.
Bhagavad Gita. Only Bhagavad Gita students. Next class will be next Saturday. Other students, we are going to have tomorrow. We are going to have Wednesday. We are going to have Friday. Oh, Wednesday pre Diwali, Friday post Diwali. Other classes will be there. Only Bhagavad Gita.
Tomorrow I'll not be able to attend. I'm
Why?
traveling to Palakkad.
Huh?
I'm traveling to meet Appa and Amma.
Okay, I know that. Yeah, I know you are traveling to Palakkad. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I know.
And today it was so much of network issues right from the beginning. So I'll hear the recordings today.
Okay, good. Today you were not there from the beginning?
No. Initially I was not there. In between I joined. In the
Okay.
end also I lost network connection. So that is why I had texted you that there was a lot of network issues.
Okay.
So I'll listen.
No problem. You can listen to the either from Palakkad, you can listen if you have time, or you can listen to the recording.
Yeah, on the way also I'll hear all these things.
Yeah.
That facility is there nowadays. I'll hear everything.
Very good.
Happy Diwali to everybody at home.
Everybody, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you all. Thank you, Ji.
Thank you. Hari Om.
Thanks. Happy Diwali to all of you here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hari Om. Thank you. So shall I close the session?
Yes, Ji. Thank you, Ji.
Thank you. Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om, Ji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.